Hey guys, thanks for joining me again for another episode of Tie to Throw. What I'd like to tie for you today is a tarpon streamer. Let me start off with what I got in the vise. It's a TMC 600 SP hook. I already fixed some plastic eyes on them and secured them with a little bit of zapping gap. So what I'll do, I'll start my tying thread here at the back, just like so. Cut that off. I'll start by tying my tail. My tail will consist of hackle tips, 3 of them, and I'll tie them at each side of the hook. So I'll make a couple of loose wraps, about 3 or 4. Make sure that looks okay. Yep, that's how I want them. Check again. Yep, that's looking good. So what I want is the hackle tips to go outside. The other side. Again, same thing. 3 hackle tips, make sure they're the same length. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 loose wraps. Take a look. Let's go a little bit lower. Yeah, that's good. And then secure them with another couple of wraps. So that's basically our tail. And what the nice thing of a tail like this is that when you strip it, the hackle tips move together, and then when you let it go, they'll go out again. So a really nice motion to the fly. Cut off the waist. Okay, here we go. So what I'll do now is tie in some flash. It's curly, wrinkly flash, so it's a little bit difficult to tie in, so I'll do them one by one. And I won't tie in a lot of flash, just a little. So you'll see I'll turn the vise over. So I'll make sure that from whatever side the tarpon will see the fly, it will see a little bit of flash. Come on, there we go. Okay. So a little bit of flash. So what I'll do now, I'll tie in my first hackle. The hackle will consist of marabou. And what you want is a really fine marabou with not too much fluff. Tie it in. Make sure it's underneath. Like so. Now what I like to do is just take my hackle pliers. Really careful with the marabou, because the stem is so thin, you break it really quickly. So I'll stroke the fibers back every turn I make. And there we go. Tie it off. So that's my first hackle. I'll tie in my second hackle, which is again marabou. And the first one is a tan color, and this is sand, so it's a little bit lighter. and tie it in. Take my hackle pliers, find the stem of the marabou. There we go. And again, same thing, stroke the fibers back with every turn you make. One more. And there we go. Tie it off. Okay. So what I'll do now is tie in some more flash. This time I'll use some mini crystal flash in a tan color. I'll spread them out in my thumb a little bit. I'll just lay them on top. A couple of wraps. And just with my fingers I'll spread them a little bit. Like so. A couple more wraps. I'll flip the vise. I'll make sure that, again, the flash is divided all over the fly. So it doesn't matter from what side the tarpon will see the fly. It will always have a little bit of flash. There we go. Now my third hackle. This time again marabou, the same sandy color, a pretty light color. Tie it in underneath. Get my hackle pliers. Find the stem. There we go. And again, stroke it back with every turn you make. Okay, there we go. Now for the final flash, I'll use some angel hairs in color gold. Really thin, fine flash. And again, what I'm doing is I'm spreading them in my fingers already. Lay them on top. Just a couple of loose wraps. Flip the vise over. There we go. So now for my final hackle, I'll use some drake, a flank feather, color beige. And again, I'll tie it in underneath. And again, I would like to use my my hackle pliers for this. Find the stem. Here we go. Make sure it stands out. Just a couple of turns. Okay, tie that off. Stroke everything back. There we go. Maybe just a little bit too much flash. I'll pull it out a little. Okay. Stroke it back. There we go. So what I'll do now to finish the fly is finish the head with a little bit of dubbing. Using some wool head dubbing in tan color. Really nice dubbing. With some nice little bit of flash in it, so I really like it a lot. There we go. A little more. Couple of figure eights, and a little bit of dubbing in the front. There we go. And with my scissors I'll trim the head a little bit. Just like that. What I like to do is put a half hitch on there and take my whip finisher and finish the fly. That's basically it. And what you could do is use a little bit of Zappa Gap to secure that. And we're done. It's a great fly for tarpon, especially when they're a little spooky. You don't want to take the usual patterns, and the movement of this fly is, I think, what makes the fish really eat this fly. Thanks for watching. Join us next time.